Hey everyone, this is Bobby from Forsaken Legends, and this is another update video. So this update that we're coming out with, hopefully this week, we're just putting some finishing touches on it, is a pretty massive update. So as you can see, we've moved away from the voxel terrain for now. We're working on it behind the scenes. We didn't want it to hold up the development any further with trying to come up with new biomes in the voxel technology and all that stuff. So we're actually waiting on a release for the next version of the voxel technology that we're using, Voxel Farm, to come out before we spend more time trying to tie it into the game. So the voxel technology is definitely something that will be used, but for right now we just switched back to an updated version of our forest biome, just so that we can keep getting builds out and work on other features while we wait on the terrain tech to catch up. So this is the biome that's going to be in the next update. And so once again, the voxel technology is going to be used, but it'll be in a later version. So we just didn't want it to hold up the development cycles for any longer. So what else is in this update? We've got crafting, we've got resource gathering, we've got building from those crafting pieces. We put in multiple spell bars. We have inventory stacking, we have experience, and item level restrictions. So I'm just going to go down the line here and show you some of the new features. So crafting, here's our new crafting menu. So this is just the start of it. We're obviously working on graphics and the user interface and stuff like that, but this is the style that we're going for. So the way it's going to work is the crafting will be broken down by different skills. So for example, we have blacksmithing here. So inside blacksmithing, you might have all of these different skills here, or crafting items. When you actually craft an item, you get a skill point for that crafting subsection. So for other subsections, you might see sewing, leatherworking, just any kind of subcategory that you can think of would be there. So as you level those up, you're going to increase the chance for when you craft something to craft a higher rarity level. So for example, if you're a high skill in blacksmithing and you craft a set of iron gloves, the higher the skill you are, the higher the chance that those gloves that come out are going to be a blue or purple quality or green quality with added bonuses on it, extra just the different plus settings, whatever the type. If it's a spell power glove, you might have extra spell power, or you might have extra item level, that sort of a thing. So the more you hone a skill in, the better items you're going to be crafting. So you'll be able to level up any different sub-crafting section that you want. So it's not limited to, you don't have to just pick one or two. You'll actually be able to choose from blacksmithing, leatherworking, all of it. You'll be able to level up all of those to your heart's content, however much time you want to spend leveling stuff up to get the best items in every area. So I'm going to actually gather some resources so I can actually show you the crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and learn the new skill for resource gathering, area gather. I'm going to put it into my spell bar here. I'll use Q. And then I'm going to, okay, I have a bow and arrow, so I'm going to put in my auto attack. It's called auto attack, but it's not really an auto attack. We need to get those changed. It's basically your basic attack is what it should be called. Alright, so just in case I get attacks, I'm going to collect some wood here. So I'm going to cast my spell. I just mixed two words together. So once again, you can collect Whoopsie. Okay, there we go. You can collect resources through a spell, or you can also gather resources by coming up and right-clicking on them and chopping them down with a tree. And as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, when you collect something, you can see a little icon of what you're collecting going into your bag. So kind of just a little user interface tweak there to show what you're getting. I'm going to collect one more tree here. That should be enough. And you can see what bag it's going into, and you can see that it's going to be stacking here. I'm going to go ahead and collect some stone real quick. So far in the game, you can collect stone, you can collect plants, and you can collect trees. Collect that real quick. So you can see it's coming in here as stone. It's going to stack it. So I guess I can talk a little bit about the item stacking. So items stack based on rareness level. So if you had a stone foundation that was a blue quality and a stone foundation that was green quality, they would stack separately. Okay, so now that I have some resources, I'm going to go back to my crafting menu here, and I'm going to craft some stone foundations. So I just click on it. You can see that it's crafting it, and then, ooh, I got a blue one, see? I'll show you how these stacks. I'm just going to build a few of them here. And I'm out of stone, so that's all I can do. So if I look at my bags, I've got a stone foundation here, and here, and there. So I've got 3 different quality levels, which will have different health properties. So remember, if you build a base, you know, there's going to be different item levels for the crafting. So some of your pieces might have more health than other ones. Some of them might have more resistance and things like that. So once again, the higher the level you are, the more chance you'll have to craft higher quality stuff. So that's a system that we're still tweaking. As you can see, I'm only a level 3, or you know, at a 3 out of 350. So that's something we're still tweaking. So normally in the beginning levels, all you're going to craft is normal quality stuff. So what you're able to do now is have multiple spell bars. So if I hit F2, it's going to switch. F3 it'll switch, and F4 it'll switch to different spell bars. So we're going to allow you guys to build macros. So if you hit a key, it's going to switch. So let's say you have a spell bar that you want to use just for building. So I'm going to press F2. I can drag my building materials onto this spell bar here. And then if I want to switch back and forth, so I would put all of my building resources on F2. So if I go back, if I'm going to fight somebody and I want to hit F1, then I get my other skills back. If I'm ready to start building a base, I'll hit F2, and then my hotkeys are going to apply to whatever buttons I hit. So I just hit Q to place it. Now I'm going to have to hit left shift Q and E so I can place it, and you can see that it disappears out of my bag once I build them, and then they're you know, out of my actual inventory here. So that's how you're going to build stuff. We got rid of the build mode where it zooms you in, but once again, you'll be able to build macros to basically zoom your mouse all the way in. If you want to build in first person mode, you can still do that. And then when you hit another button, it'll zoom you back out. So that's still available. We just don't have a key that takes you actually into a build mode where you can't use other spells. So if I would go back to my F1, you'll see my combat here. You could even have it where, you know, a macro that would change all of your armor and switch to a spell bar. You could have a healing spell bar. You could have a tanking spell bar, a solo spell bar, and one where, you know, a raiding spell bar, just to, you know, keep all of your stuff organized and be able to have different spells available at different times. So that's crafting. We got resource gathering. I showed you the 2 different ways you can gather resources, so that's in now. Gather wood there, and you can also chop it down. We're still working on the animations for the falling trees and things like that, but that'll be coming. Got multiple spell bars. We've got the inventory stacking for resources and any items that are the same quality. We have experience, so let me go ahead and kill a monster here. Got a troll. So your characters can now level up. And see, I'm actually a level 40, so this was a level 3, so I actually didn't earn any experience from that because it's greater than 10 levels away from me. So I'm not earning any experience there, but you can see when you hit C to view your character, you can see your experience points, the current armor and things like that. So experience is in, leveling is in, item restrictions are in, so if you hover over items you can see the required item level. See, this one requires level 50 and I'm only level 40, so I can't equip that yet. So we're starting to build out the, you know, the character progression type things where you can build up your armor sets, your items for your level, and start leveling up your characters. The next thing that we're going to be working on is claiming plots of land. So you'll be able to have your own plot of land that's yours that nobody else can build on. And then of course we'll work out the permissions for those to where you can allow friends, guildmates, and things like that to have permission to build in your area. And then after that, we're going to be focusing on some of the user interface stuff. We've got some stuff that Preston's been working on, that's a complete redo of our entire user interface. So we're going to work on getting that in. And then we're going to start focusing on combat again, reworking all of the skills, and just making sure combat feels the way that we want it to. So those are the major areas that we're going to be focusing on next after this build. And then we'll be working on the voxel technology behind the scenes, and then once that's ready, we'll move that into another build as well. So that's still being worked on just behind the scenes, but we just want to give you a really solid build here to where you can start progressing your character, build a base, clutch resources, and things like that. We're also working on a storage system for, like when you claim your plot of land, it'll be a safe, so you can have sort of your mini bank there where you can start storing your items and things like that. So a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now. So I'm going to keep doing update videos as soon as I can, and then once this build is ready for release, hopefully this week, then I'll do another video talking about what's going to be focused on next for sure, and then letting you guys know that the game's ready for this build. So if this looks like something that you guys would want to play, feel free to join our pre-launch. It's available right now. Any amount of the pre-launch that you guys come on board with really helps the development, keeps the game going forward, and helps us progress. So we're also starting to work with a 3D artist who came forward and offered to help us with some stuff. So we're going to have some really cool artwork coming out soon. So things are progressing really well, and we'll have a lot of stuff to show you here over the next few weeks. So if you haven't joined our forums yet, be sure you do that. It's free, so you can follow the progress of the game. It's a lot easier to follow up with people on the forums. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or leave a message here on YouTube, and I'll be sure to answer it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video.